to, now that we've finished our master patterns, we need to make a outside pattern, and that's just basically retracing your master and adding a 3/8 inch seam allowance if you're using leather, or you can add a 1/2 inch seam allowance if you're using fabric. So we've started off by straightening our edge as always, and I'm going to go ahead and cut. And you're going to do this to all your master pieces. Okay? Go ahead and cut, then measure down 3/8 of an inch. In this case, I'm doing 3/8 of an inch. That's what I'm most familiar with. Pin, and draw a line between your pin marks. Okay? Next, you take your master oval pattern, and you've got it all notched out, and you line those notches up on your center fold of your pattern paper and trace. Take your ruler and measure out 3/8 of an inch all the way around your pattern. Add 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around your pattern. And when you finish doing this, you're going to cut your pattern out, and this will be your outside pattern. And again, I don't know why I did that. And again, I will you will do this to all your masterpieces. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trace that out so I have something to guide my cut. I just kind of basically sketch it out. That's approximately my 3/8 inch. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cut this out. And as we said in earlier tutorials, you know, if you don't feel comfortable cutting through layers, just go ahead and unfold it and cut through the one layer. Okay, now that's my outside pattern. It's perfectly 3/8 of an inch all the way around. Just line it up, and there you go. And you're going to do that to each piece. This is my oval outside. I'm going to cut one, and in this particular case I'm going to put the fabric or leather type one here, and of course any other information you need, such as the name of the style that you're doing. And that's your outside pattern. And as I said again, you're going to do this to each masterpiece. That's going to be your front and back master, it's going to be your strap master, and here in this case we did our bottom master. Okay. We're going to do our lining pattern now. I've already scored the paper, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it and cut between the pin lines. Now we're going to take the our outside pattern that we've already made, and we're going to line up our notches so to make sure that it's perfectly straight. And we line up our notches, and we're going to trace. Now we're going to go in 1/16. Go in 1/16 here. Just a 16th. It's not much, but it's enough to affect the pattern. It's enough to affect the fit. Okay. Okay. And there we go. 1/16 all the way around inside. And now we have our 1/16. Okay, I'm going to unfold, line up my pins, and cut. Make sure everything is properly lined up. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Okay. And now I'm going to do the top. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to do this. The sides. And there we go. And now we have our lining pattern. Okay, we're going to go ahead and label that lining pattern. This is our front and back, so we're going to cut to fabric or lining material. And we're going to cut to, and then we're going to name it. And there we go. So now we have our lining, we have our outside, and we have our master. We're going to make a lining bottom. We're going to make a lining bottom, and then we'll make our stay patterns. Make our stay patterns now, and normally a stay pattern is made from your master. You can use them to, if you wanted to cut felt or foam or something like that. It has to be your stay has to be the exact size of your master. So you use your master patterns to cut stays. But we need to do a stay so that we can turn the top here. So what we're going to do, we want to be able to turn our fabric over this, and we want to stay there to turn over. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and measure the top of our master, and we take that measurement, which in my case is 15 1/8, and we basically just are just going to measure down. I've already straightened my top edge here, and I'm going to measure down. I'm going to make a 3/8 inch stay, so I'm just going to measure down 3/8, pin, and I'm just going to cut. Okay, and Stays to me means basically stay here. If you want something to stay in place, you use a stay, and you can also use them as guides when you're cutting. And so now we're just going to go ahead and cut this. Like I said, that was 15, and so it's going to be 7 1/16, 7 1/2, 7 9/16. So that's going to. So it's going to be about here is our, and then we're going to just go ahead and cut that, and you're going to see how these stays are used as we start to build our bag. But that's our stay, it's as simple as that. And now we're just going to go ahead, and this is going to be our turning stay for turning the tops, and we're going to just cut 2, and that's it. Now we have our masters. These are going to be our stay patterns. We're going to cut our felt, foam, or anything else we're going to add to the bag from these stays. Okay. We need to put the placement of our embellishments on our master front and back, so that we know exactly where everything is going to be, and we need to notch as much as possible, so that everyone else knows where you want stuff to be placed at on your pattern. So everything has to match up. Now the first thing I did was decide where the placement of my straps. My straps are 1.5 inches away from my corner here, and as you can see, I drew out where I wanted this is going to be my O-ring right here. I'm going to have an O-ring, and one part of my strap is going to attach here, the other part is going to attach there. I've also got a tab here that I'm going to place as my closure with a magnetic snap. So we're going to make a tab, we're going to make a stay here, and we're going to make a stay here for this. And that's going to be where my straps are going to come out here, and this is where my tab is going to go over the top and close my bag. The next thing we need to do is place a zipper on our lining pocket. On our lining, I'm sorry. And what we're going to do here is, this is our lining, and what we need to do is find out where we want our zipper to go. I'm going to put a 9-inch zipper in here, and I need to make a window to show where this is going to go. So what I'm going to do is measure down. I want it to be about 2.5 inches down. So I'm going to measure down about 2.5 inches. I'm going to pin. Just want to know where that is. And then at 2.5 inches, my zipper is 9 inches long. I'm going to go 4.5. Okay. Now I'm going to take that 4.5. I'm going to take that pin mark, and I'm going to draw a line between the pinholes. Okay, there we go. I want to make sure that that's straight now. Okay, there we go. And there's our line. And this is where our pocket is going to go. Now what I want you to do is, on the end of your pocket, where that line is, I want you to go like this. Put a little triangle at the end of each one. And what that triangle is where you're going to cut, because you're going to make a stay. And this is another zipper stay, and that zipper stay is going to go right here. And when this cut here, that's going to be your material, and it's going to go fold up and around this zipper stay. So it looks like I made my little triangles a little in the wrong place, so we're going to put them right there. Okay, and you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put them right there. Okay, and those triangles we're going to cut, and this is where we're going to be folding back to put our zipper. So that's our zipper window right there. And this is all going to make sense as we go through our pattern. Okay, so we're going to make that cut. And when you get a die made for this, the die would automatically cut here so that you can fold this and put your window, glue it down, fold it, and boom, you're finished. So that's what you need to do next. Find the placement of your window and where your zipper is going to go, and I'll show you how to make one of these windows. Okay, we need to make a zipper stay for our pocket, our inside lining pocket, and so this is going to be our zipper stay, and it's going to get over our zipper like that and give it a nice clean border to sit in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that done. The first thing we've done, as you can see, I've already scored my paper to square it, so I'm just going to go ahead and start working. The first thing I need to do is it's a 9-inch zipper, so I kind of want to discover where the 9 inches is going to be. So I'm just going to measure out, and there's my 9 inches there. So I'm just going to know what we're going to, just want to know what that is. Okay, there's my 9 inches there. So down from that score, down from that little pin where my 9 inches is, I'm going to go down 1/4 of an inch and pin, and then below that I'm going to go 1 to 3/8 of an inch and pin. Okay, now I'm going to go back up to my first one, my first 1/4 pin, and from that 1/4 pin I'm going to measure out 3/8 of an inch and pin again. Okay, now I'm going to fold it back, and I'm going to repeat all these pin marks. This is my outline. Go there, go there, go there, go there, and go there. Okay, and there. Okay, now I'm just going to draw these out for you to show you how these line up. Okay, let's go to the inside, the 1/4 inch pinholes. That's those. I'm just going to draw the line for you so you can see what I did. That goes the one, and here goes the other, and then you connect those dots there. Okay, and then you want to go here. Okay, and then you want to go here, and then we connect these two right here, and these two right here. Now normally I would have said go ahead and cut that rather than do what I just did, but I wanted you to see how the window looked. So we're going to go ahead and cut this window now. I'm going to go ahead and cut here. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it. And you got to have a lot of strength to do this, so not strength, but really sharp blade. And here, and then I'm going to, in the middle here, I'm going to cut this window out. Like this. And these windows can be used when you make up a group of them, 6-inch zippers, 9-inch zippers, and you can continually reuse these dies over and over again for all kinds of pockets. So once done, they're done. I didn't cut that one. Oops, I missed. Just didn't cut through. Okay. And here's our window. Let's see, did we get it right? Inside is 9 inches and the width is 1/2 inch. And so that's how you make your stay for your zipper pocket, your inside lining zipper pocket, or any pocket.
Okay, so I'm going to make I'm making the pattern for the pocket. Okay, and since the window and the zipper is 9 inches, it'll be 9 inches wide plus about an inch. So, but first of all, I need to score my paper and straighten one edge. Okay, and you have to decide how deep you want it. So I was thinking to make it about 7 inches deep. So what you do is double that amount plus add about an 1.5 inches to one of the sides. Okay, so I'm going to measure from this straightened edge 14 plus 1.5, which is 18.5. No, I'm sorry, 15.5. Sorry. So there's my 15.5 point. And then I'm going to cut at that line. Cut between the pins. Okay. The pocket, as I said, the opening is 9 inches, so it's going to be, I'm adding an inch on either side, so that would make it 11 inches wide that I want this piece. So that's 5.5 inches from the center, which I will pin. And 5.5 from the fold down here. And then you're going to cut it between the two pins. Okay, so this is actually the pocket pattern. You could also, if you want to mark where you're going to be turning the top edge, you could mark that 3/8 of an inch. So I pin that, and I'll just do a pencil mark there. Okay. And that's basically it. I'm going to notch the center as always for alignment. Okay, and then I label my pattern. This is the pocket pattern. Cut 1 fabric. And that's your pocket pattern.
We need to do our flap or tab stay so that our tab will bend where we need it to bend at. So what we're going to do is first, as always, go and straighten our paper, our pattern paper. Okay, excuse me for sniffling. And now what we're trying to do is make this tab here to help with our magnetic closure. So now we have our straight edge, and we need to determine how much. If this is the back of your bag right here, if this is the back of your bag, you want to determine now how much you want your flap to go down the back. And you also want to consider how much space you have to do your top stitch for when you're going to be putting in your lining. So for instance, if your stitch is going to, if this is going to be your your back piece and your stitch is going to be down here, then you're going to be able to fold your flat back and stitch along here without a lot of problems. But if you stitch up here and you don't leave enough room, then you may have an issue when you try to do your top stitch to put in your lining. So the very first thing you want to do is consider what your back depth, or how far your closure is going to come down in the back. And in our particular case, ours is going to be 1.5 inches down the back. So the very first pin mark we make is going to be 1.5 inches. Then we want to determine how far we want our top to open when it's just sitting there. How much is that going to open? And that's going to be our second pin mark. And in this case, I want that to be about 2, let's say 1.5 inches, maybe 1 inch. I just want it to be 1 inch. Okay, and then the next pin mark is going to be how far down the front the tab comes. And in this case, it's going to be 2.5 inches. Okay, now I'm just going to go and fold my pattern paper, and I'm going to make some score marks here. Okay. My last score mark here is where the flat will end. Okay, and now I got that one. So now I'm going to refold that, and I need this to be 3 inches wide. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to measure off 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches down here, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut. Okay, and now I'm going to give my my tab some shape. And I usually just take anything that I can that's going to give me the shape that I'm looking for. It doesn't really matter. I just kind of get the shape that I'm looking for. Give it a little line there and cut. Okay, and there's our shape. I'm going to round that out a little bit. It's a little bit squarish. And there's our shape for our, and it's going to come over and like that. So the next thing I want to show you how to do is windows. And I want you to refold that. And then around I want you to go in like 1/4 inch. And go in about 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch down, make a pin mark, and then go up another quarter, or you can just go like this and make your pin mark. Okay, and then on the inside of those pin marks, which is right here, move this out the way, right here, I want you to go in another 1/4 inch and make another pin mark. And so we're going to do the same. And now we have this, and this is your window. And I'm just going to draw this out, and hopefully with any luck you're going to be able to see it in the camera. So I'm going to draw this line out, and these are your cut lines I'm drawing out from pin to pin. These are your cut lines, and I'm going to show you a finished one in just a minute. and you'll see how I'll show you a little bit more about how that works out. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and come up with this in your pin marks, okay? And with that being said, let me go ahead and show you one that I've already finished, that's already cut out. And here's this a stay, or flap stay, already cut out. It's actually glued and ready to be put in place. But here it is, and it's a funny looking thing. And these little connectors right here, these are pulled out once this is applied to the fabric. So you don't want to put glue here. You put glue here, here, there, and then these are pulled out. And then your flap will bend like this and not pull on your bag and pull it out of shape. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. And you're gonna make this, and you're gonna make this on this fold line where it folds here, and you're also gonna make one here. And here's a finished one that shows you that in both places. Okay, all right. So that is the tab stay.